Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Star Citizens. Now, today I've decided to take a look at the Cutlass, and I've spent probably about half an hour, 40 minutes in here. I've gone around this thoroughly, and I've also, from the very point that the Cutlass went on sale, I actually did think about buying it, and at the same time, you think to yourself, what purpose does this serve? Now, a lot of people have been put off by the Cutlass, saying that, looking inside, it does look relatively old. You look at the interior, you don't get the impression that it's, you get the impression that it's an old ship by the way it's designed. And not only that, you get the impression that actually it's minimalistic. I think that's the right way to explain it. Now, looking at some of the stats, some observations I've made. Well, the first thing is the upgrade spaces it's got. For the size, for a 10-ton ship, it's got 12. That is really, really good. So the versatility of this ship is very, 12 is... If you go and try and find something else that's got 12, I mean, all the others have got between 4 and 8. So you're already sort of quite a way ahead on the actual upgrade slots. Now, it says it carries 10 tons, but there might be, some modification where you can carry extra cargo. We'll have to wait and see. The maximum power plant size is 4, which is pretty big as well, actually. It's pretty much on line with most of the others ships as well. The main thrusters, it's got 2 tier 4, which is very good. Very good for thrusters, which is very good. I think that these two things here, the 2 Type 4 thrusters and the 16 Type 2 thrusters are the key to this ship. And I'll tell you why. Now, I've looked around this ship, and why has it got more thrusters than any other ship, of its size? And there's a reason for that. I mean, looking around the ship, the first thing I noticed was these. Now, it's quite obvious they're going to be rotation. They're going to rotate. So, if they do rotate, that means that there's a tier 2 thruster facing forward. So that means now it's got 2 tier 4 thrusters, and then 1 tier 2 thruster going forward as well. You see what I'm getting at? I'm making look. I mean, it looks like it rotates, unless it only rotates left and right. But then, if it's flying forward, it would not make sense. And that definitely turns forward. Make that assumption. Then you've obviously got your main thrusters on the rear. Now look, it says it's got a dedicated spot for a tractor beam. Now, everyone's saying this is a gun, guys, but I'm guessing that thing on the top there is actually the tractor beam. Because I've looked around this, I reckon that this is going to be the beast of landing on planets, taking off from planets, maneuverability, and moving ships with that tractor beam. Now, the reason I'm coming to the conclusion that that's the tractor beam, because it says it has a dedicated location, a dedicated spot for a tractor beam. Now, let's look around it. I mean, I can't see anything else. Now, I know these are weapons. These are tier 2s, which are listed on the site. Nothing here. Have a look around here. Nothing around here. We'll have a look underneath in a minute. Nothing around here. All maneuver thrusters. Look under here. Nope. And finally back round to the front. So if it's got a dedicated spot for a tractor beam, it's got to be that, guys. I mean, it's got to be that, doesn't it? It has to be. I mean, every video I've watched everyone else online, they're saying it's a gun. I don't think it's going to be a gun at all. I reckon that's going to be a tractor beam. If you put a tractor beam on there, and then you say it's got 16 maneuver thrusters, and it's got, 2 tier 4 forward-facing thrusters, this is a beast for moving things. You know what I mean? This is going to be... if you're going to be moving a ship or moving something floating in space or anything like that, this is going to be the one you want to be using. Now, I know everyone's saying, look, everyone's saying that this is... You can use this for, for doing smuggling, stuff like that. But, I think you've got to look at what assets it's got. And the assets it's got is 16 maneuver thrusters. It's a massive amount of thrusters. So that's got to be something to do with it. I reckon that up there is actually going to be used for the dedicated tractor beam. Now, I've got no doubt that actually, you could actually put something like a weapon on there, because it's probably just a hard point at the end of the day anyway. It doesn't really give you much information actually on the site, actually on the shields and all the other bits, because I don't think we've got that information as yet. But as it goes, like I said, 10 tons, 2 people, 12 slots, 4 power plant. It's got 2 tier 4s and 16 tier 2s. So pretty sure. And not only that, actually, it's actually got the same shields as the Gladiator, the bomber, which is a tier 4, which is pretty impressive. I don't think this is good. I wouldn't use this. If you said to me, I wouldn't want to come out and fight another ship with this. I mean, look, for starters, you have forward-facing guns on the front there, but obviously if something's flying over the top of you, you're just going to have a bit of an issue. Even if that is a gunner seat and you can actually put a gun on it, I think I'm going tractor beam. I think that if you put a gun on it, then I've got question marks over the ship, because I'm then saying, look, okay, you got a tier 4 gun on the top. I think what's the maximum mount? Let's have a quick look. I want to see what the maximum mount slot is actually available, and then we can actually sort of work out. So the maximum mount it's saying it's got 1 clear tier 1. There's 2 of them on the wingtips, which is left and right. We've just looked at. It's got 1 class 2. It's got 3 class. It's got 2 class 3s and 1 class 4. No, it says 2 available actually. So it's not quite clear actually where the rest of the guns are going. Can't see anything on there. There must be another mount somewhere, because obviously we're missing mounts. But either way, I mean, I'm going with the tractor beam. I think that actually, with that amount of with that many maneuverability thrusters, which is ridiculous, like 16, and then tier 4 engines, which is absolutely fantastic for maneuverability and moving from in and out of atmosphere and moving objects. And the fact that it's got a 10-ton cargo hold, I'll go with this. I think if you go on that mindset for this ship, then I think it makes a little bit more sense. Because, you look at this and you say, well, if you're going to use it for hoarding goods, why not go for the Freelancer? Why would you pick this over the Freelancer? And that's, if you say, well, this has got a huge tractor beam, and it's got 16 maneuver thrusters and 2 tier 4s on the front, and it can maneuver large objects from space, but the Freelancer can't do it. Well, there's your reason. Now, if we say, the reason is because I want to haul goods, well, you're going to go with the Freelancer, didn't you? Because it's just got just more weapons for a start, and it's probably going to be a slightly better ship. Anyway, let's take a look inside. The door's already open. There's no animation on this. Actually, let's take a look at the landing legs. I had a quick look at them earlier as well. Now, these front landing legs, they look like they fold up. They fold up inside this hatch here. And then the same one, obviously, this one around here. And then you've got these ones here look like they just fold under up there. So they're rear facing, which is not an issue. It's fine. And obviously the rear door as well. Now, the other thing that this actually brags as well, it's actually, well, it says it's actually got a predefined. Let me just quickly check that before I say something here. It says here, it's got, I'm not quite sure. I think it's going to be this one, a dedicated hatch. I mean, because it's designed, it's search and rescue at the end of the day. And, it makes sense. Search and rescue in this is ideal. Don't worry about what's inside, guys. You've got them maneuverability thrusters. There might be some tactic to trap beaming. We don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know if it's just going to track, point and shoot. We don't know. But if it's search and rescue, this is brilliant. This is ideal. I think that actually, one of the modules I would probably put in here is I would put the same pods that the Avengers got. Search and rescue, then you could go and rescue a ship, maybe with 4 people on board, put them into status, put them to sleep, tractor beam their ship, dock with a bottom door. Because once again, it's got one of them round hatches. Now, see this round door here, actually, I'll tell you one thing I noticed. If you go into the constellation and look on the roof, you see one of these round hatches. Now, that makes sense to me. If this could land on top of the constellation and dock. I know it's got the side docking doors as well, so it could possibly... Let's go and have a quick look outside, actually, and see when them side docking doors come out at. It looked like a docking door, didn't it? Higher up. Unless that is actually connected to the thruster. That's slightly odd, isn't it? Let's quickly go and have a look at that again. Maybe it's not a door. It does look like it, though, doesn't it? Okay. No, that's the back of the thruster. Okay, so that's not a door. So the dedicated hatch is obviously that. Okay, so look. Now this ship's starting to make sense. This is better than the Freelancer for that purpose. I mean, and that's what Star Citizen's about. It's not about picking a ship and saying, I want to have this ship because I want to, do this and do that. You've got to find, once you've identified what you want, you've got to look at the stats and then understand, what the stats are telling you and what the purpose of the ship is, and then make the decision, do I want to take that role or do I want to do that in the game? Now, if you said Constellation is, let's say, is badly damaged, it needs towing back, two of the crew want to come back as well. Tell me, what ship are you going to use, guys? I'm going to use the Cutlass. I don't know about you guys, because I'm making the assumption. We can only make assumptions at the moment. I actually posted something on the forum asking about tractor beams. Now the tractor beams, there's gonna have to be some sort of tiering level on the tractor beam, because are we saying that this could tow an Igris? Could it tow a big carrier? So there's got to be something. I mean, it's got to be something to do with the hardpoint class of the actual tractor beam itself. And if this has got a class 4 mount on the roof, then it should have a class 4 tractor beam, which makes obviously sense. Now, that tractor beam should, I'm making this, say this is not factual, guys, but it makes logical sense. That tractor beam now should have some sort of tonnage maximum. Maximum. I know what you're saying. In space, there is weight, because obviously you're going to have to make that initial pull to make it come towards you, if you know what I'm saying. So you get what I'm getting at. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So this has I think it's going to be really useful. I think you're going to be in demand. You have a role in the game. Everyone's going to be going out dogfighting. Everyone's going to be flying out in space and be attacked. Constellations are going to be breaking down in space all the time. Someone's got to go and get them. And if people don't pick the Cutlass, the people who have got it are going to make a load of money, and there's no doubt about it. And I think there's a lot of people looking at these ships. I watched about 6 videos, guys, and every single one, they said, if I'm going to be, doing smuggling and attacking other ships, that I wouldn't pick this, I'll go with a Freelancer. Well, I sort of agree with you. But you're missing the point of the purpose of the ship. I mean, if you look at the stats, why has it got more thrusters than other ones? Why has it got a dedicated hardpoint for a tractor beam? Because it serves that purpose. But anyway, we'll carry on looking around now. It's probably one of the very few ships that actually has minimal amount of features that have been activated on the ship. I mean, like, you can't sit in the seats and stuff like that. I tried on here, can't get in here yet. Obviously, then that takes you up there, and it takes you up to that hardpoint, whether it be a gun or a tractor beam. Can't really see. You can see a little bit of a dashboard there. Now, here we've got these like little cargo hold things. We've got 2 of them. Toilet over here as well. But, we're looking at this. It doesn't look particularly great, guys. But look, the reality is don't forget, PBR will sort this stuff out we're looking at. It's just going to make... The only reason that looks bad is because, obviously, the materials don't look good. I think once the materials have been defined, then the animations and the physical look will be better. So I can see past that. Rear door, obviously. Now we've identified what these are. Why these are actually inside and then got covers on. It's a raw ship. This is not like the VIP ship. They haven't put any covers on there, probably to save money. Put the cover on, it costs more money. And that's why they've just gone for this sort of raw look. Raw looking sort of ship. So, obviously the seat there. Then going up, we've got this sort of centre section now going into the sort of the cockpit. Not much around here. Alright, so we've got a couple of control panels here. Now, this might be something on the lines of, once your tractor beam's connected, someone might be able to see the strength of the tractor beam on what you're towing, the direction it's going, the loads you're pulling, because that have to come into account as well. Might be a little bit stuck in here, guys. Oh, there we go, I'm out. Like I said, this is probably one of these sort of unfinished ones of all of them, really. You can see there, seat up there for the co-pilot. He actually has a ejector seat handle. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know if that is... if he's got his spacesuit on, let's make the assumption that that will be the case. Because it doesn't have any escape pods, does it? There's no other way to escape other than ejector seat. And that's probably why these bases are so big, because they've probably got obviously small charges in the bottom that blow them out through the roof. He looked like might hit his head on that bar, and it might need a little bit of adjusting. That might roll back a bit and go for that window there, possibly. So let's take a quick jump in the cockpit. I don't know if I can get in it. Yep, I can get in. Here's a console. And so we know this isn't unfinished as yet. It's got very good viewing angles as well. So, you know, if you were towing something, you know, you probably you need a rear view mirror. You need some sort of mirror to see probably behind you, if the purpose is, you know, for salvage and helping out injured ships as such. But you can see, you know, the only restrictions you got here really is this one bar, which is nothing really. I mean, in fact, you know, you've got pretty much, I don't think you can improve that physical look than you could, even if you tried. Very basic inside. Let's have a look on the outside while we're here. So there's that hard point at the top. It says 2 tier 4s, so if you look the left and the right of that that seat there, you can see that the guns would go on there. But I'm saying, look, I'm thinking tractor beam. I can't see where else the other tractor beam would go, unless, I mean, leave it in the comments, guys. I mean, if you could mount a tractor beam, a monster one on there, maybe 2 tier 4 tractor beams, that'd be a beast, wouldn't it? You know, that'd be brilliant. Then I think in the Cutlass, you know, it's going to be a great ship. But like I said, I think it's a little bit understated. People, you know, saying at the moment, I think people just don't like the interior. I think that's what it is. But I like it. But you got to like a ship for its purpose. I mean, look at the M50. I mean, it's a tiny little thing, goes super fast. It's a racer. You're not going to start saying, oh, you know, I'm going to be dogfighting with this thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, the ship serves a purpose, and you've got to understand the purposes of the ship. So yeah, like I said, I like it. I think it's, you know, it is an older ship. It is simple, but if you look at its strengths and then understand what its strengths are, then it's actually quite a good ship. And I actually think it's pretty good. And I think it'll probably be one of the underdogs. Let's have one more look to see if we can work out where this tractor beam would go. It's got a dedicated point for a tractor beam. Let's just check that, hang on. Can't actually see. I mean, let's do a quick check on here, hang on. Yeah. Dedicated tractor beam mount. This is the thing, it does say that. None of these, I know they're weapons because it says it on the site. It's got to be that on the top, guys, doesn't it? It's the only thing I can think of. If it's got a dedicated tractor beam, that is going to be it on the top. It would make total sense. So this is going to be a fantastic... If that is the case, then I'm quite excited for this ship, you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking this is going to be the beast. You know, if you can get 2 tier 4 tractor beams on there, you could do an Ingress. I'm sure you could with that sort of weight. That's just colossal. And it's got the thrusters, and it's got the maneuverability thrusters as well to cope with that. And that is, I think that's where this is going to come into its own. And I think if you want to take that role in the game, then this is the ship for you. And I think what's going to happen is because people have been comparing it against like the Freelancer, that it's going to be the ship that's actually not many people have got, but it's going to be the one that makes a lot of money and is going to have a big role in the game. I mean, we don't know what else is going to be floating around in space as well. There could be anything. We could be alien ships, there could be cargo, you know, there could be all sorts of stuff flying around in space that can be collected. So, for me, I think this is going to be the underdog. This is going to be the ship to watch out for money making. You know, it's by far this is not the sort of vessel you want to come under. You know, start attacking another ship in. But don't get me wrong, you've got good shields. I suppose you could. I probably wouldn't go for the weapons on the top because I'll just think you could do, but I'll be thinking. I think if you had the tractor beam option, that actually, do you know what? It's going to benefit you more. If you put the guns on top, then I'll say if you want to take that role, go for a different ship. I suppose you've got the option to put the guns on. But like I said, I mean, that's what I would do. But so, not a massive video today, guys. Just want to take a quick look around it. there's not really many other ships. I was going to have a quick look at the Snug Fighter as well. Actually, we can probably load that up as well. One sec, hang on, I'll load it up. Okay, so yeah, the little the Merlin, the little fighter that actually goes back in the bottom of the Constellation. Now, it's not worth doing a whole video on this, so I'll put it on the end of this one so you guys can have a bit of a look and we can have a quick chat about it. Now, the first observation is extremely thin. I mean, very, very thin. To the point where it looks like it's going to snap in the middle. But you can see, although this is, you know, it is a small fighter, and it is solely for that reason. I mean, you could use it for a ship just to land on a planet, just to go and collect something, or you wanted to do a scouting run or something on the line. The energy signature on this has got to be blooming low because it's just so small. It's long, but very, very small. Weaponry. Don't get me wrong. This is not going to be taking down massive ships by any means. I mean, it's only got class 1s. It's got 3 in total. It has 2 Knightbridge 9 series, and it has 1 Knightbridge 11 series. I'm assuming there's the 11 on the front, and the other ones are on the... I'm assuming they're going to be on the wingtips, aren't they? Over here, on the wingtips there. But looking around it, looks pretty cool. I like the look of it. Now, what I have noticed is in the later patch update, they actually, in the previous patch, they put the fighter in, and in 10 they took it back out again. I don't know why. Or maybe they're just testing it. Quick look round. Actually, I was actually quite surprised once again. This is one of the very few ships where they've actually listed all the thruster configuration. And what I mean by that is, I mean, it's obviously a one person. It's got 1 upgrade slot. It's got, the power plant is 1, but look, I mean, you got to look at the footprint of the thing. It's so blooming small, and it's, I say it's pretty light. It's 5,500 kilograms. So it's pretty light. So it doesn't need that much there to move the ship around, if you know what I'm saying. But it has the engine, the primary engine. It has. It's saying here it's actually got 3 TR2s, which doesn't really make sense to me. Can you see 2 there? This is 1 underneath, but we can't really see that. It's saying that it's got, well, it's pretty much factory engine, 8 tier 1 maneuver thrusters, and the factory maneuver thrusters. It's saying that it's actually got 8 hydro pulse M116s. So obviously they're going to be upgradable, but I can't see that other big thruster. I can only see 2 there. This has got to be 1 underneath or something. Like I said. And there is something, I mean, this is quite strange, this round ring. I don't know if you guys have actually... Is it there just to design, or does it actually serve a purpose? I don't know. It's got 1 upgrade point. What that's going to be, we don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. You can't actually get inside it yet, unfortunately. We can probably jump out of car. I don't want to go too far. I'll probably get stuck. Actually, the controls actually look... It's fair to say they look quite good. What else have we got? RSI seatbelt there. A bit of control on that side. Let's go and have a look around this side. Now, this is probably going to have a ejector seat, obviously. I don't think it's going to have an escape pod. Obviously hasn't. But one thing, you know, you've got to look at it, actually, for its purpose. It's got a... The viewing angles are quite good. I mean, if you look left, he's going to see me here. Look right, he's going to see me. I know he's got that pillar there. Probably a bit of a blind spot here. Front facing, pretty blooming good. I mean, shooting this coming front on... Think about it. It's not going to be the easiest thing to shoot in the world, is it? And that's the advantage it has. You know, its small footprint and how thin it is. It's going to be very difficult to shoot down. It's going to be fast. It's going to be a little nippy little ship purely on the basis of its power to weight ratio. I say power to weight, but obviously there's, I know weight is slightly different in space, but you know what I'm getting at. To push this forward, it's not going to take a lot, is it? With that sort of weight, with 5,500 kilograms, it's pretty blooming light. But like I said, bit of a look at it today, guys. Obviously, there's no stand. I don't think it's ever going to be sitting on the floor. I just dropped it in here so we can take a look and see what it looks like. And, you know, and further on down the line, once I can get inside, we'll then take a look inside and see what it looks like in there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.